In this session, I'm going to tell you how to make a cutscene.
I was desperate. Please show mercy.
Mercy? Like the mercy you gave them? Die, betrayer.
Storytelling adds a great flavor to your game, so don't forget to have them in your game. So let's go and make our cutscene. Let me deactivate the dialog and make an empty game object and call it cutscene. For example, 1, because maybe you have more cutscenes. The cutscenes are played at the beginning of a game, or for example, when you collide to something to trigger a cutscene. So, which I'll tell you the both. So you have that. There is nothing on it. Now go to Window and the sequencing and timeline. Then bring it here and say create. For example, in if you have lots of cutscenes, then you can make another folder dedicated to that and call it 1. Here we have different things that you can bring. The activation track is that, for example, something that is not active at the beginning and then later it will appear. The animation is that you want to, for example, you want to animate your characters. Audio is something that would be played. And these are the most important things that you would work on. Which, let's go and bring that. For example, I want that. So let's set the story. This one, let me deactivate that. And for example, he is in here. He doesn't need the health bar. We can delete that. And there is nothing in his hand. And let me bring a where is she? I have this female character here. And I'm at the scale 1, -1, so that she's here. And she's talking to him, and then she kills him. Okay, now let's go to our timeline. Here on cutscene 1, an animation. Bring something that already has animator. If not, it creates that, don't worry. And also for him, let me bring it down. We make animation for him as well. And then they want to talk, so I add audio track. And I want that the camera moves, so I can, for example, one of the ways is that I create another camera, a second camera. Or you can use the existing one, animation track, and bring your main camera here. As it doesn't have animator, just create that, so okay. And now we have this. I put it here. For the voice, let me, it was in the audio cutscene. I have this and this.
Mercy? Like the mercy you gave them?
Oh, so this is that. I want that at second 3.
Show mercy.
Mercy? Betrayer.
And go to your For example, I want that she plays idle. Okay. Bring your idle animation here. You can stretch that. Um, and also I want the attack one. And for the enemy one, let me click on him and going here. And I also want the idol and the death. They don't have to be in your animator. You can make other animations and just put them here. You may not use them during the game, just during the cutscene, just put them here. But imagine that we have a very simple thing here. I will tell you how to work with that. So, mm, as I want that for the first 3 seconds, the camera is over there near the player and it comes here, so nothing happens. Everything begins at second 3. So I put imagine that they're idle, and I try to overlap them, so especially in the 3D is very important. So it wouldn't jump from one animation to the other in a very unnatural way. So they kind of blend it. These blend to animation. Okay, it attacks. Where it attacks? No, it says mercy. Um, they are in idle. And also he says, okay, please forgive me. And she said, no, and I kill you. Okay, so it shows the idle animation. And death is here. Okay. And I also want the fireball. The fireball is not at first there, so I have to use the activation track. Okay, if you say something like this, it means that during this time and this time it is activated, and other than that, you don't see that fireball. So, and I also bring what I want to be activated. So I go to the female mage, and where is that? Oh, the projectile. What? Ah, it has to be in the scene. So add it here, but make it not active. And then drag and drop it here. So let me see, where is that projectile? That temporarily activated to see that. So it would be here, instantiated from this place. Okay. As it is not recording, then there's no problem. We can move that. So here, when she attacks, I want that thing be active. It has to also move. For example, the display. I can correct that if I make the animation and projectile. I can move that. So yes, here it is active. You can also, for the projectile, you can bring another animation that is the um, explosion. But let's not do that. You can do it yourself. So now I press on this button and it is recording. It's got red. And here I say the position of the projectile be here and not active here. It is instantiated and it moves toward him. And it falls down. Something like that. And um, you can animate him as well. For example, uh, you have to make another animation track, and let me make this for her. This is just for moving. For example, she's here. No, not here. Yeah, she's here, and she slowly comes down. Okay, something like that. So this is for that. Then play on that so it's not recording. I want to make a camera that doesn't have these things on it. So let me, okay, object. Just a simple camera. Or just duplicate that. No Cinema Machine Brain. It has nothing. It can move. Do you see here? But the problem is with the background. So I temporarily bring it here and move that into the cutscene. So when the cutscene is disabled, this camera would be disabled, and this one is activated. Okay, so at first, let me copy the position. Yes. Okay, at first we have it. And let's go there and make this animated. For example, here it is in this position. Then it goes there. Just see that. And then it kills it. Okay, just moving the smoother speed. And you can add the death sound. So imagine that I have added a death sound. Okay. Now let's go and play the game and see what happens. I didn't. Let me deactivate it.
I was desperate. Please show mercy.
Mercy? Like the mercy you gave them? Die, betrayer.
Yes. So that's it. Now we need the code to. So let's go and make a script. Usually, when you want to stop the cutscene and go through the game, for example, okay, you see you have a collider. That's when the camera collides to that, it would stop. But as you saw, there were two ways. So if I put a collider here, the first time that the camera want to pass through that, then the game will stop. So the best way that I usually use is that I give it a timer. For example, my animation, if it is 10 seconds, then after 10 seconds, the cutscene would be deactivated. So I go there, script. It's kind of not. It's not UI. So make it cut scene. I want that the cutscene is not played at first, so I deactivate it. So when I play the game, the cutscene is not shown. But if you activate that, then this is shown. But the problem is with that this camera is here and you don't see what is happening. So remove that. Or if you want that it starts at the beginning of a game, then you have to deactivate your player and or the camera, and then deactivate this, and then activate that. But we want to say it in a way that in all situations it would work. We have a collider here. The player gets there, like we had for the dialog instantiation. When the player gets to the collider, the cutscene is activated, and this main craft is deactivated. And you can also even deactivate the player because we have to do that in the code. And then after it is finished, you can, whatever that you want to be destroyed, make sure to put them in that layer. For example, I want that the enemy doesn't exist after it dies, but she remains here. So I put her out of that because this is going to be destroyed and everything beneath that. So let's go and do it through the. So we have serialized field, private, game object, camera, and we will have the cutscene as a game object, private game object, cutscene. Then, like before, we have a example timer or the lifetime, and I say private float lifetime. I don't know, for each cutscene it is different, so I don't give it any initial value. Then I have float timer 0. And here I say timer plus equal time. That's delta time. And I say if a timer is more equal to timeline, then that's set active false, or you can even destroy that. And mm, and also set active true, as I want to give it a collider and say on 3 here, enter 2D. If collision that game object that compare tag player, then that would be reverse. The camera would be deactivated, false, and this would be true. And something that we had here was, for example, deactivate the player from moving or doing anything. Private player input So at first, after that, yes, and then deactivate it when the cutscene starts. You can put it here. You have this, and for example, if you want that to instantiate more enemies when the cutscene is finished, you can say here, when the cutscene is closed, so I can instantiate the some enemies or some other things. And there you have it. Now let's go to, and also I want that only I can activate at once. So I make it here. This is true. If collision and has entered not, when it is false, then do that. Then it is true. Then if you collide to that trigger again, uh, the cutscene will not be activated. It is only activated once. So now let me duplicate that. Control D. Change the name to cutscene activate activator actually, but it's okay, no problem. And I remove the code and I give my cutscene. Okay, there is a main camera here, the cutscene. It is here. Let me go to my cutscene and see how long is that. It is, I think it was, okay, 12 and a half. And a player input. Oh, no. You can actually directly say, because you have only one. Now we have another problem. As you see the code, the timer just starts. And for example, if I waste time for example, 10 seconds, then 10 seconds has been passed, the cutscene starts, and only 4 seconds of the cutscene is played. So I have to make sure that only the timer works when the cutscene is activated. So here I make a boolean private bool is active. First this is false. Then I guess if the cutscene is active, I say is active is true. And then here I say if is active, then do that. I waste time here, and then I go there.
I was desperate. Please show mercy.
Mercy? Like the mercy you gave them? Die, betrayer.
And you see the cutscene, all of them are shown to me, and everything works perfectly fine. And the fire doesn't catch her. Let me go to fire, the fireball, this, and then this. And I also need to add that for the untrigger. So, because some enemies has trigger, not the collision.